Adam Weinrib here with FanSided, talking with Stephen Rannazzisi ahead of the NFL draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and thanks in large part to Pabst Brewing. Steve, you're going to be in Green Bay. You'll be there for the draft. Talk me through your plans when you get there. Are you going to be on stage, or what are your responsibilities when you land for the draft, or do you just get to have a good time?
Well, the fine folks at Pabst created Pabst Light, and I'm helping them launch the brand, and I'm very excited about it. It's a great beer, and I'm very excited to get to work with them. As far as what I'm going to be doing responsibility-wise in Green Bay, hopefully I'm going to be making the Giants' third pick decision. If it was up to me, that would be my priority there. But mostly I'm going to be interviewing some people, just doing some fan interaction stuff, create some content. And then I'm going to do a little show at the end of the on Friday night to wrap things up with Pabst. So yeah, it's great. I'm excited about it.
Before we get into the meat and the Giants related content, because I am a New York Giants fan as well, I will tell you right off the bat. So probably most pressure we've had on a draft in forever, because it's an opportunity to maybe rejoin the NFL again and have people hear about our team. But Pabst Light, I want to hop on that because you got to try it early, I'm told. Tell us a little bit more about the taste and sort of what seasoned beer drinkers can expect from this new brew.
First of all, I did. They sent me some product, and it is delicious. Great way to watch the weekend with the Masters with Pabst Light. It was unbelievable. But, really smooth, great tasting, light, not a lot of calories or carbs, so you're not going to feel, all bogged down. And it's perfect for just, not overthinking things, which is great for football fans and most importantly, us Giant fans, about trying to overthink everything. I mean, I don't know how many times you've done different scenarios in your head, but I have a million. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and I want to get into it because overthinking is, it plagues us all, and it might be plaguing the Giants front office, and we don't know at this point. So you and I are both sort of in a nervous vortex right before all this goes down. It seems like Cam Ward at number 1, we know. It seems like Travis Hunter at 2 is becoming more ingrained, and so all of a sudden the Giants are maybe staring down Abdul Carter, and Shedeur Sanders is now getting some private workouts, and they're still talking about, well, we're not beholden to QB, but we're thinking about it. Would a QB at 3, would you lose it, or is your mind sort of open to the possibility of Shedeur?
I wouldn't necessarily lose it. I would only lose it if we heard we had him listed high on our draft board. The only reason I want them to take Shedeur is if they have fallen in love with him. They would have taken him at 1. They would, that's what I want. That's the kind of confidence I want to hear behind it. It's not necessarily who the decision goes to. If they take Abdul Carter, right, and for some reason that doesn't work out for whatever reason, you know what? That's on them. It's also on everybody else, because I think everyone in this whole process has Abdul Carter down as quite possibly the best football player out there, him or Travis Hunter. So again, if everybody's wrong, then so what? But if the Giants are wrong again, that's a big deal, especially to me and us as a fan base. So I don't necessarily think it would be bad if they took Shedeur Sanders, but I want to hear a conviction behind it as to why they fell in love with him, what it was, blah, blah. They better have all those bullet points ready to go, like a brand new car, bringing them out there. I don't want to hear we were wishy-washy or whatever, that's my only take on it,
Is this first round pick, whether it's Carter, whether it's Shedeur, and obviously we're going to have to give it the year to play out, are you sort of at the end of your rope on Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll? Are you going to sort of, where are you in terms of, I hold you personally responsible for this pick, or I'll let another one slide, we'll give it a year, we'll give it 2 years?
It's funny because both, they've gotten things right. They got our first round, even last year, is they looked good. Kayvon Thibodeau is up and, still kind of, Evan Neal was a disaster, but that was the old regime. So I feel the guys they got last year, Malik Neighbors obviously is a generational talent, and, as long as he can get the ball thrown to her. So I believe in their evaluation process as far as who is in the room already and how do we allocate that money. I don't necessarily trust them as far as like GMing that way. But picking talent and getting a value, I do. But for me, it's like if they don't, they're in a tough spot. They've set themselves up for a 6-win sort of season. And if they can sell that to the ownership and go, we're not exactly going to win the whole thing, but we're going to get better. We're going to be more competitive, and we might not lose the fan base, but we're probably not going to get the quarterback that we're going to, have for the next 10, 15 years this year. That's what they've set themselves up for. And I think that's okay. That would be fine. You look at their schedule, it's tough for me to try to find them winning 6 games.
It's crazy.
It really is. I mean, I would be shocked if they were favored in 2 or 1.
Abdul Carter, potentially our pick, appears to have some Eagles fandom in his blood. Now, this is one of the teams will be paying him to play professionally, and it won't be the Philadelphia Eagles. So we've got that going for us if we do draft him. But does that bother you at all? It kind of is hard to get over.
Look, it's tough that it's the Eagles, but he's a Penn State kid. So they grow up pretty much around there, and they're Eagles fans for the majority. Saquon Barkley's probably at heart was an Eagles fan as well. So it's tough. But all I care about is if he wants to be the next Lawrence Taylor, like he put that picture up on social media today, or he wants to be the next Micah Parsons. So that if he has that in him, that drive, that's all I care about, because obviously, they'll put him in the right direction. I don't think he's ever going to take it soft on the Eagles, but I'd much rather him be a diehard Giant fan. But, again, are there any of those out there? Do we have any left?
I mean, it is. I said this to you to start. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. I'm giving you my credentials and credibility, but it does feel like the pressure is on this draft to literally like rejoin the league, to like say like,
we would be relegated if this was the Premier League. We would be out.
Yeah.
It would be us and the Jets.
If we got relegated, would you still follow us? I think I would, but it would be tough to really be that invested.
It's you know what it is? I have 2 sons, and we moved from Los Angeles in 2021. So they were they were Yankee fans because that was like not negotiable. Mm-hmm. But everything else I led up to them, and they were kind of Rams fans. And when they came over here, they saw that I was a Giants fan. We had that great year 2 or 3 years ago. We went to the playoffs. So they were like, all right, great, we're on board. And then ever since then, trying to keep them, it's been a disaster because the Bills are so good and they're so fun to watch. And Josh Allen's such a generational talent. And they're in the New York State, they're in New York, technically, even though it doesn't feel like it. So a lot of their friends have gone up. We have more in Long Island, New York, more Buffalo Bills fans than probably Jets or Giants fans.
There are, for whatever reason, I'm in Jersey City, but I'm like right over the border. A lot of Eagles fans here, and I can never tell if it's just because it's Jersey and there's that line of demarcation, or it's because they're extremely cool and the Super Bowl champions and are coming off this absurd Saquon Barkley season. Is that giving you grief? What stage of grief are you on with regard to like, oh, I guess paying a running back was smart, and I guess he's the best running back of all time. So interesting.
Well, that's the thing. That it leads me back to I do not, in no way, shape, or form, do I blame Saquon Barkley for anything. Anything. I went to the Giants-Eagles game when he was his first game back. The game that he destroyed us, could have broke the record, but decided to be easy on us.
Yeah.
We were zero competitive. Drew Lock looked just as bad as everybody else they put out there. So it was terrible. So 0% do I put on Saquon Barkley. I was rooting for him. I root for him. My kids have Saquon Barkley's jerseys. They put the tape over the back or the Barkley, and they put in Singleton. So that was their little silent little protest. It was fine. But I did not want to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl. I literally didn't want to see either the Chiefs. I didn't want to see anyone. I wanted Saquon Barkley to only win the Super Bowl if that was humanly possible. And I was happy for him. And I was happy that because he deserves it. He did nothing. He did nothing but 110% for us. Every single snap he could ever play. He was hurt some that he tried to get back onto the field. No diva stuff. Just a great teammate. And, the owner loved him like a son. He made it well known. The receipts are there from last year. So that is all on Schoen and Daboll. Completely on them. More Schoen, obviously, but I think that really will be a thing that's okay, man. We're going to give you a chance to turn this team around, but you have a real big negative in your side right now, and that's tough. That's real tough. It's tough to see that happen. And again, I don't think he would have done that on the Giants, but you know, he's a great football player who's going to excel when you give him the opportunity to.
It is a low point. I'm with you. I root for him, not against him. I'm also married to an Eagles fan, so I do have to deal with. Yeah, Super Bowl's going on. It's a party in the house. It's not. There's no room for depression corner. Like my father-in-law will give me. The Eagles and Giants tend to play each other December 29th every year in Philly or whatever, and he'll give me the tickets as a gift, and it's like, thank you, but also like they lose 33-3 every time we go. So.
Yep.
It has been somewhat impossible to maintain I mean, have you ever had a situation like that where you've maybe been in a relationship or been pressured to give up the fandom and had to keep it going against all odds?
Let me see. I mean, yeah, it's testing. The Giants are severely testing my patience more than any other organization. I'm a Yankee fan too. Mm-hmm. And you get frustrated, but you know that the team is tethered to winning. It's whether they're, they never get too far away from it. And I feel like for the first time ever, like I'm rooting for a team that has lost the ability to find the winning formula, and they're searching. And that's a terrible place to be as a fan. So, I mean, other than the Real Housewives of New Jersey, which sort of lost it for me and jumped the shark. I wanted to love them still.
Yeah, but
it got tough when Teresa Giudice goes to her. She could be going to her second stint on jail for tax evasion. I mean, how do you not learn? It's remarkable to me. So anyway, yeah. Other than the Real Housewives, the Giants are really testing my my patience.
If you were in the driver's seat, I guess, obviously people know you watching this interview, know you from the league. So you've got a lot of experience in building a fantasy roster on your docket. Was starring in the show, was being around fantasy football, does that make you more or less confident in your ability to be an actual NFL GM? Like, do you feel like you can handle the pressure, or did you learn anything about the role from that job?
I don't think that I think people will. It gives you a false sense of belief that you could do the job. We all do that. We go, how do these guys get this wrong? I saw that that so and so is going to be a great running back this year. I mean, we get it so wrong so often. The ball is shaped strange. That's why I hear fantasy football experts. It's like kind of, maybe. Not really. The ball it bounces weird, and you never know how it's going to go. And Kyron Williams, there's probably 3 people in the world that knew at the beginning of that year that he was going to be, possibly, the MVP of fantasy football when he was 2 years ago. So again, I think that I have a great understanding of it, but it proves every year that I don't know what I'm doing, and it doesn't prepare you. The guys that. The analytical nerds that sit there and run numbers and stuff like that, those are the guys that really know what they're doing. The rest of us just go beep, boop, 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 and that's it. That's it. That would be, I'm throwing stuff at the wall, and I'm watching games and trying to figure it out like the rest of everyone.
During your years on the show, did you ever actually play fantasy with any members of the cast? And if so, who is terrible and who is great?
We did. We when we started the show, I think myself and one of the creators was only the people that ever played before. So we were like, we'll do a league amongst ourselves. So it was like 6 or 8 people to start. And first year, Katie Aselton literally read that book, Fantasy Football for Dummies, the woman that played my wife, and she won the league the first year. I thought I was going to kill everyone. Yeah. Like literally, I thought, like, talk about hubris. I was like, oh, I don't even have to, I wouldn't even check. I drafted a sick team, but who doesn't have a sick team in an 8-man league? So I go, oh, I could just live on, I have 3 number 1 quarterbacks, whatever, and I ended up losing. And then I never won. I was every year I try harder and harder. And then I tried too hard. And one year I lost to John LaJoie, who plays taco,
Mhm.
who is Canadian and lovely and doesn't care about football and still really doesn't care about football. We went to the Super Bowl the year that New Orleans. It was in New Orleans. It was the Beyonce year, the year the power went out. It was the
Mhm.
Parbar Bowl. That was the first one that FX took us to. We went. The power goes out. John goes, "I'm going to go for a walk," and he came back when it was over. Like they played the whole second half, and he was like, "I'm like, where were you?" He's like, "Oh, I was talking to this guy. I started talking to that guy, and I was over there for a while." I mean, you missed the whole game. The whole game's over. He's like, "Oh, who won?" I think this is incredible. So I lost to him. It doesn't matter. My point is, I don't think there are any experts. It's all sort of a little bit of luck involved. And John Lajoie was great. Katie was great. Everyone on the show was better than me. So, yeah.
There you go. Selfishly, before we sign off, I do just want to ask about another starring role of yours, and that was on the set of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I know that is sort of a one-of-a-kind experience in terms of creative freedom or expression within the framework of a scene. I would just love to know a little bit more about your experience on set with Larry doing that.
Larry, that was a dream because I auditioned for it. They don't really tell you what you're auditioning for. That you just got to go in, and it's going to be a something to annoy Larry. So, your audition is we did the League very similar to how they do Curb, where our creator from the show, the League, he is also directs all the Curb Your Enthusiasm, Jeff Schaefer. So the way we did our show was very similar. They use the same crew for the most part. So going over there, being around there, that was the most familiar. I was very comfortable in that environment. But then getting to do it with Larry, when Larry like gets in your face and like starts to question, we've all done it in our heads, like like what would I do or what would I say back to him if I was in that situation? But to have him do it, it's amazing. It's like just being able to face Otani throwing. It's incredible. You're like, here I am. So and it's funny because I was making sure I was like, I don't want to break. I don't want to be like the person that ruins the take. But he breaks more than anybody, which is awesome. So if you really lay a good one on him, he'll break, and then it makes it all comfortable. But it was amazing. It really was. And then getting to watch it and being just a part of it for a very small piece was unbelievable.
Well, Steve Rannazzisi, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for the Giants fan therapy as best as you were able to. One more time, you were flying to Green Bay for the NFL draft through Pabst Light, new brand and new innovation. Great taste and a perfect accompaniment to the Masters. Like you said, anything else that you have to plug before we sign off?
No, not necessarily. SteveRannazzisi.com for my stand-up road dates if you want to check those out. But mostly check out Pabst Light. It's delicious.
Thank you so much, Steve. And I can't wait to see you on the turf in Green Bay.